Hello, welcome to Gaming Division. I'm Kamurai, and I did forget my thing that time. Oh man, hopefully this won't take too long. But this is where I talk about games and stuff and things that I've been up to. Hey kitty, this camera I'm still not used to the new camera. But it's a lot nicer quality. It doesn't really show up too well in the end result, but it is what it is. I was gonna say, I've honestly I've got some gaps on Friday. I know I got there like around 5 or so, and I sat around. I was reading the rule for like Big Eye, Small Mouth or something, which essentially is a spades-based anime bounty hunter game, where the cards represent bounty hunters that are chasing after you, and you can divert enough of them away and give points to the other players. Lowest points for the however number of tricks you play, number of rounds you play wins. Of course, you can shoot the moon by taking all the points, and then that means that everyone else gets a certain number of points. I think that's how it worked in spades. Let's see. So like I was reading that, and then a buddy of mine was reading Hail Rail, and we were talking about stuff, and then another buddy of mine showed up in the middle of Slam Witch. I was playing. There's a nice lady who came in. She was waiting for her son. So while she was waiting for her son, we ended up playing with her wee daughter, and we ended up playing Slam Witch, which is basically Egyptian rat screw or Egyptian or slap, depending upon how you know it, with a couple small design twists. But essentially the munchers are the face cards, the king. Okay, so that's what it is. It's with the king being the munch 1, the queen being the munch 2, jack being the munch 3. I believe that's how it is. And then the thief card being a slappable variant on its own. Other than that, you slap like pairs, you slap A-B-A combinations. And it's a interesting one. I don't like that the cards are shaped like sandwich bread pieces. I'd rather have normal cards that I don't have to line up in my hand, because it's really easy to card count when you do certain things, like the cards are facing the wrong way. You don't have asymmetrical backings on them. It's really kind of ridiculous how you can get used to those things. And so like you just put your munches upside down and then you can track where they are, and it's just takes a kid to one time to realize that, and then they're off on a horrible banter of etiquette for quite some time there. But mom was a really good sport. The kid was a real delight. We ended up pushing out of that pretty quick. It wasn't that long a game. And then I'm trying to remember what happened right after that, because I thought we got Matt to go get a game out of his card, but I can't remember what we played. And we were talking about some things. Is it King of Tokyo? King of New York. Never mind. That was later on. So let's go there. So they went and play Through the Ages, and my biggest problem with Through the Ages is that I don't like games that where you arbitrarily lose things. And Through the Ages, it makes sense. It's thematic. You're going through time. So Hammurabi and Moses are not going to be around by the time you hit the next age or whatnot. So, but if like I kept him and he was worth the number of points instead of his ability, maybe, because I look at it from a mechanic point of view. It's like I have this thing that does a thing. Why did I lose this thing? The mechanics don't give me a reason, so immediately that puts a distaste in my mouth. The other thing was the way the military works is I don't like it. It's very, very abstract. It's like I've got guys and you got guys and blah 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 blah. I'd much rather be on a board and do some tactical stuff, some strategy. It's really what I kind of like about gaming in particular. And I think Through the Ages shortchanges me there. So it's one of the reasons why I'm not a fan of it. I've been trying to think and ask that because they keep asking me. It's like, well, I don't enjoy it. But I met a couple on Friday, and it's always great to meet a couple because then you're getting kind of like a 2-for-1 when you're introducing people to games and such. And they seems like they haven't played too many different games in a while. In a while, I'm not saying they didn't used to, but they're familiar with some of the bigger things. They never played deck builders before, and they were kind of browsing the shelf there, and they were having a discussion. I kind of poked my head in, and I'm like, well, hey, if you guys want to play Dominion, if you don't mind me playing, I'd be happy to teach you. So we sat down, we played Dominion for a while. We taught them how to do that, and they never seen a deck builder before, so it was a new experience for them. They really enjoyed it, and we started looking around, seeing what else everybody was doing and where they were at in their games. And we kept in this discussion about Cash and Guns. The lady didn't really want to play Cash and Guns either. I didn't want to play Cash and Guns. So we ended up deferring, mostly because people were just being apprehensive about doing this or that, and that what's happened. Someone's got to be the asshole and be like, look, we're doing this. So I pulled out Star Realms, and unfortunately I forgot that the store copy is only set up for 2 players. So I taught them how to play Star Realms. I coached them through a game, and they seemed to pick it up fairly well. Of course, we had just played Dominion, and they'd played Magic. They started playing Magic about a month ago. That's part of what that was. So they definitely they're definitely picking up games quick. They're smart people. They're fun. They seem pretty good to hang out with. So I'm real happy to get them integrated into the gaming group. Let's see. Talk about Cash and Guns. So like at some point she had mentioned Yahtzee. I was like, I'll do you one better. Ken, do you got King of Tokyo? It's like, nope, got King of New York. So we ended up pulling that out. So it ended up being 6 of us, so that's how many it holds. And there was a kid that was involved that was a little angsty, and apparently I took charge of him because no one else was. And apparently I looked a little stressed out about it, but I was trying to help him out, and he ended up being okay. Just he needed to stop touching the dice and changing the results, and paying attention and listening when somebody was teaching him the game. That was kind of the key thing there. But King of New York, it's a lot like King of Tokyo. It's a push your luck dice game. You get 3 sets of rolls. You could keep whatever you want to keep and then re-roll the rest of it. And you can do that up to 2 more times past the first. And the whole time you are fighting like military guys and each other as monsters in the different sections of New York. The funny part about what's happening in the background there is it looks like Ivory was actually being the aggressor, and we just see Pig's fat flop around. But it's like part of the fun of having cats sometimes. So we got through that. I can't remember. Somebody backed out or something. Man, who was playing what keeps throwing me, because it feels like we played something before King of New York as well. I need to start writing these down, like on the days that I actually play, and then coming back to it. Because I know Linda was playing with us, and then I don't know where she went because she wasn't in on the monsters on the King of New York. Man, but we ended up ending on Ticket to Ride, and of course, Ken whomped the crap out of us, but it was another new game for the couple of those playing, so they went through a lot of new games. But trains, I love Ticket to Ride. Ticket to Ride is such a fun little game, and it seems like a lot of it is, depending upon like what tickets you get, can really make the difference, how you go about getting those tickets. Hoarding the cards still seems like a great strategy, but at the same time, you're sacrificing priority. So if someone decides to play the dick and just, I'm going to buy up all the little ones and twos that everyone needs to do things, you could win just by having the least negative. Which I need to play a game where I just do that. Like, that's my strategy. Oh man. See, it wasn't Penny or... No, I'm sorry. I'm just stuck in my head. I know they played Splendor at some point without me. And I know they played Cash and Guns, which I'm not a fan of. I don't like having guns pointed at me. Like, paintball is maybe a different story. But I'm not in a place where I like that anymore. And then, like, the rest of the mechanics just don't thrill me either. It's just not a game for me. It's all right. Most people don't like Super Dungeon Explorer. Whatever. I'm trying to remember, because that Ticket to Ride game went forever. We stayed out late. But last night, Saturday night, I ended up live streaming Super Dungeon Explorer. I did 4 characters, Team Lucky. It was all the 4 characters that have luck as an attribute, to try to see if gaining the potions and everything would really make the difference in hearts. And it did towards the end of the game, when it was like 1 or 2 characters left, but not enough to really make the full difference. So that was fun to get that down. And then Sunday, like, I got there a little bit later than I wanted to. I watched a couple guys playing Star Realms, with some more of the Crisis expansions, which I really think changed the game a lot. Play a little bit more Dominion. This time I brought my full set in, so we actually got to pick out of the full array of cards instead of just the base set. I really think that makes a lot of difference too. It ended up being one of those games where, like, a couple of cards really made the difference. Everybody started pirate shipping. Money became non-viable. So, like, I was trying to find a strategy, and I explained, like, what was happening. But by the time that happened, there was only 2 of us out of the 6 that weren't pirating. So we were trying heavily to make the other strategy work, and we just couldn't get there because the pirates had built up so much at that point. And one dude won like 50. I think the next highest was 30. Rough game, especially for one guy's first time playing, but he did okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, they played Hanabi while we busted out Super Dungeon Explorer. We just played a small game. We played like a little 2-person against a mini boss. And Brandon actually beat the crap out of me. I played 2 egg clutches, which, if you're familiar with Super Dungeon Explorer at all, the egg clutch is like the super basic weenie roasty guys. So I wanted to see if 2 of them could actually stand up to the heroes, and it could have, except he pulled a treasure which gave him backlash. So I ended up throwing my guys against him and just killing them all that way. It wasn't that he was attacking and killing me, it was that I was killing myself. So I should have just mucked up the hallway more and forced him to keep attacking me. That's what I should have done. That's stupid on my part. I feel like an idiot now. Of course, he had it was Royal Paladin and the Riffling Rogue, so he could have kept teleporting, but so that was that. And then the newer couple broke out a copy of a game that's by the same company as Catan Mayfair. It's called Elisund. I don't know if I'm saying that right because we have a lot of pronunciation. Well, we had a lot of, like, how you say shit conversations, but I think it's Elisund, and it really looks like a cross between Vikings and Catan, because the shipping lanes are based on dice rolls, and so once you're on one of those shipping lanes, you then have the opportunity to do things on that shipping lane, but you can never freely go to one of the shipping lanes unless you're paying like extravagant amounts of cards. And like I didn't really get a good grasp, and it started getting late, so I knew I had to start setting up to film. So I didn't get into the game properly. Plus, if I'm going to play a game that uses a double dice mechanic like that, Tux, I'm going to kill you. Ugh. I'd just rather play Catan, but I got to play City of Knights. I can't play the base thing. It's just too mean. It's all about who can fuck over who. Whereas City of Knights, it's about building up. And then if you go City of Knights forward, you tend to could add on options to how to build up instead of tear other people down. And that's what I like. I like racing to build. Tux, I'm really close to throwing you over across the room. You gotta stop shedding at me. Let's see. And that ran all the way to the end. We actually stopped short just because, mostly because I needed the table, because it's the sturdiest table in the store. We filmed our first episode of Gamesville Tabletop Let's Plays, and we used Splendor, which is not the greatest game for a Let's Play like that, but I think we did okay with it. Still got to go through all the footage and everything, and make sure what's what with it. But hopefully it'll come together and it won't be such a big deal. But yeah, not a whole lot. Minecraft. We've actually done enough work on one of the villages. I actually put in, like, I don't know, I think here it's called Section 8 housing. It's just like little 2x3 rooms with doors on them. I think I did double doors so that they count population a little bit more leniently. But we got iron golems showing up, and we've just got a village full of people, which is ridiculous. We've got zombies in the basement, but hopefully that door will be okay without any players there. Now, I could be wrong. I could have killed everybody just by putting a staircase to the basement to where all the zombies are gathering. But worst case, I'll make a piston and we'll do it that way. I got to figure out exactly how to do that, because I used to figure out how to do secret doors and stuff all the time. You got to build them a couple walls thick, but just to keep it from showing. But I remember it being a lot of fun to try to figure that out and have secret doors or whatever. Yeah, so that's kind of been my gaming for the week. It feels like I've done more, but I can't remember what it was. I've got to make some calls about when and when I'm not going to be trying to game, just so I can take care of some other things. I've got some project work on the way, and I've got some people on board to check, approve, and come up with some ideas as far as art and layouts of the cards and such go. So we'll definitely have to see how that goes. Until next time, I'm Kamurai. This is Gaming Division, and you'll see me next time. Bye.